So that's the first time that's ever happened in public. All right, sounds good. I'll race you. Oh, don't forget your shovel. Welcome to Life on the Moose, and welcome back if you've been here before. It just seems like yesterday when we were in that spur cabin putting tung oil on the ceiling. Guess what? Ceiling time. No, we're not going to use tung oil. We're going to use teak oil this time. My understanding is teak oil is basically a combination of linseed and tung oil, or some derivation thereof, and then some other stuff to go with it. So we're using teak oil. That's recommended for outdoor stuff. We have more than this to do, don't worry. There's 3 of these to put up, 1 of these to install, and 22 yards of gravel to haul. We have to put some of that gravel here, and some here, some here, some there, and maybe a little there. Most likely some here. It's already 2:38 in the afternoon. A little bit later start than I wanted to. I had to go to town to get materials this morning. So I'm here now. So let's get going on this ceiling. As much as I'd like to stand here and lean up against the bar and talk about the good old days, we're burning daylight. The clock is running. Tick-tock. So I have to put on my oiling shirt and get to work. Okay, I'm just stripping these wires back, the black wire and the white wire. And as always, the black wire is supposed to be hot, which it will be. That's what I have it wired for. White wire is neutral. And of course, ground is the bare wire. So in each of the wires, I'm just exposing about 1/2 inch to 5/8 of the actual wire itself. And then on the fixture, of course, white wire, black wire, ground wire. You just match them up. It's really quite simple. The 2 black wires from the fixture, the black wire from the ceiling, First thing they like you to do, if this was being inspected, is give it a good twist before you even put the cap on. Okay. And that, of course, keeps everything from touching each other when it's up in the box. Really not a requirement, but I'm going to put a little electrical tape. Make sure that does not come off, at least on the black wire. I'm just going to tape that up good. That way I never have to think about it. Now we do the same with the white wires. I almost forgot to tighten my plate up. That just gets tightened up to the box. Everything's tight. And then see if we can get these little bolts here through these little holes. Could be a challenge. Ah, there it is. Okay, guess what I don't have? Light bulbs. I forgot light bulbs. But what I can do right now is put the switch in, put that outlet in, and at least have that wired and ready to go. So let's do that. And then that might be it for the day. Tomorrow morning, I'm gonna drive the tractor over here. It's about 3 miles from here to Red Moose Ranch. All private roads, so no biggie. So I'm gonna take the tractor over here so I can get that rock up the hill. I wanna get that gravel spread up around the cabin, up around the kitchen. See if I can get that tackled tomorrow. So tomorrow I'll bring back light bulbs and everything else I need to at least get this lit and going so we can make sure it works. If you wanna wire the outlet, I'll wire the switch. Did you remember how? Okay, good. All right, sounds good. I'll race you. You know what? I'll just do it. Don't worry about it. It's a lot easier that way. Good morning. It's a brisk 45 degrees out this morning. We gotta hop on this tractor and move some gravel. Are you ready to move some gravel? Let's do it. But before I move this tractor, I'm gonna check the fluids, hydraulic fluid, oil, make sure it has enough diesel, make sure the tires are aired up. Like I mentioned, they're only about 3 miles, so no big deal. So I'll take care of this stuff and I'll see you over there. Oh, don't forget your shovel. Want to hear a quick story? It's kind of embarrassing. All right, I'll tell you. So remember I told you I had to check the fluids and whatnot. So check the oil, that was fine. The hydraulic fluid, added just a little bit. And while I was doing that, I thought to myself, I better grease the tractor too. So aired up the tires and I remembered to grease the tractor. So on my way over here, I get just outside the log entry, so not too far. I remembered I forgot to put diesel in it. 6. I kind of lost track, but I think 7. So this is about all we need for this side of the cabin right here. Looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. What I'm not happy with is my stomach. Let's go eat. I'm gonna go move a little bit more gravel, and then I'm gonna walk back to Red Moose Ranch. It's almost 4 o'clock already. Goodness gracious, time got away from me. I spent probably too much time working on that driveway in here rather than hauling rock, but I wanted to get it done, and it's done. So next thing I'm gonna try to work on is maybe drive the tractor all the way around the spur cabin and back in over here and put some around this kitchen and around the fire pit if I can as well. Kind of this little roadway here, but I don't know, it's a little suspect, especially if you have a lot of weight on the front end loader, which I do. So maybe I can get it from this side. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm not gonna test it. So a little bit more gravel, and then tomorrow we'll finish up the electrical. And I'll drive the truck back here tomorrow, and it'll be like I never went anywhere. Okay, well, let's get to work. Okay, we're back on site. Had a good walk back to the ranch last night. Got a few pictures, saw some deer. Oh, went by that burnt area. Boy, that grass is really coming out nicely. It's pretty amazing. If it wasn't for the dead trees that are hanging around, that fire is a wonderful thing as far as producing fresh green grass. So there's a lot of that. And oh, I wanted to shout out to Aaron at DNR. This is a milestone for this channel and for me. Aaron works for DNR, and he was actually working on that burnt out area a few weeks ago. I went driving by in my side-by-side, and he flagged me over and stopped me and asked me, hey, are you the Life on the Moose guy? I didn't know him. He doesn't know anybody I know. Complete stranger. So that's the first time that's ever happened in public. That's pretty cool. That's pretty amazing. Thank you, Aaron, for all the work you do and all your cohorts. I really appreciate that. I'm sure a lot of people around here appreciate that. So you probably see a lot of gravel in different spots around in the background there. Yeah, I need to spread that stuff. Before I do that, let's finish up this electrical in here and see if we can get this going. I brought some light bulbs as well. So let's finish this up, and then maybe we'll hit some more gravel. I know there's only so much gravel you can watch someone haul in one video. So I get it. So let's finish this up first. Get power in this thing. Test it out. See if it works. And then we'll maybe haul a little bit more gravel. And oh, also I wanted to let you know, upcoming plans after this build is finished. We'll hit that before the end of this episode. Some of it's fortunate, some of it's unfortunate. I'll get to it. So hang tight. We'll get to that future plans in a second. But for now, let's do this power. This fixture is rated for 240 watt bulbs. I only have 160. This will be enough to test it out, just to make sure it works. I'm going to do that before I button up all my switches and whatnot. So let's see if it works. Woo. Okay, so I have my jackery going here. See, it's at 81% right now. That was at 79 about 10 minutes ago. So it's working. That's good. So I'm just going to plug this in and test this out. Get my little AC button there. Okay, green light's on. That's off. That's off. Are you ready? Hey, we have light. That's all it takes. All right, so this kitchen's powered up. I'll put the cover on that when I have the right bulbs. So I'll just stick that in the cabin for now so it doesn't get broken. And then you saw me put the exterior solar light up. This is the same kind we have in the Spur cabin up there. And I like it. It works very well, puts out a lot of light, and you can set it for motion sensor or not. The whole top is solar panel. And so far, the one up at the cabin has been working very well. So we actually have two more of those we want to put up back at the ranch. One on the side of the barn above the door, and one on the garage or the cabin opposite side of the door. We have a wired exterior light bulb above the door, but once you walk around the side at night, it is dark. I'm at 86%, so that's charging nicely. And that little jackery is only a 300 watts. Not enough to run a microwave or anything in here, but certainly enough for a light bulb. What do you want to do now? Move gravel? All right, well, I'm going to move gravel. If I see anything exciting, I'll turn the camera on. Otherwise, I'm just going to put my head down and get to work. I have a feeling it's going to take me all day. 10:20 right now. I got about half the pile moved yesterday. Not all of it spread, though. So it's a nice day to do it. I mean, if you have to move gravel, moving it in the middle of nowhere, that's the place to do it. Yeah, maybe we should just take a coffee break, look at that blue sky for a while. As much as I love working in this environment, sometimes it's hard to work in this environment. If beauty is distracting, this place is distracting. Okay, enough chit chat. Same exact lunch as yesterday. Oh, I'm sharing the apple with the chipmunk. It's around here somewhere. It just grabbed a big chunk and went away to eat it. I know, it could at least eat it in front of me. Come on. Okay, the burger's cooking. That'll be done in a couple of minutes. So let me show you what I did so far. I had that spread yesterday till about right there. And then this morning, I did all of this in front of the cabin and got a head start on this side. I still want to bring the gravel all the way around the opposite end of the cabin as well. The other end doesn't have any. You probably saw I got going on the stairs. They're not perfect, but they're better than nothing. Finished up around the fire pit. So now we actually have a spot for a couple of chairs. So that looks good. And then I got 3 sides of the kitchen finished. Got that side over there, all the way up to the steps. That will be much cleaner when the rain comes falling off, dripping on the rocks. Once these fines in the gravel are all washed down, then the splatter will be clear. And you won't have that. So it's coming along. One more. As you figured out, we're back on Red Moose Ranch. This morning I made the walk over to the spur cabin, took the tractor back, so all that gravel's finished up. I worked till about 5:30 yesterday. So if someone asks you if you want to move 22 yards of gravel uphill with a very small tractor and then rake everything out all by yourself, say no. Run away. Okay, I'm going to spend 2 minutes talking about what I'm going to do for my next project after this kitchen is finished up. It's getting kind of windy, so here, I'll show you. So I mentioned yesterday, kind of bad news, good news projects coming up. I'll do the bad news first. Bunkhouse. Check it out. Now, check that piece of glass out laying next to the cabin. Not good. So I built this bunkhouse. This was the first project I ever did after I built the main cabin, the glorified garage right here on the ranch. This is made out of solid wood. The walls you see here are the same walls as the inside. It's cedar, it's about 3 inches thick, and it's a big tongue and groove. They used to sell these as kit houses in the 70s and early 80s, I think in the 60s. A gentleman was selling his house and had a bunch of this left over, didn't have a use for it, he gave it to me. So this didn't cost much. So speaking of the cost savings, these windows right here, I got them at a secondhand store. They came out of some other project I don't even know. So they were cheap. I want to say like $50 a piece. Double pane windows, worked out great, they look great. But there's a fire I've mentioned to you several times. 9 years ago, the fire came through, it got so close that it popped the seals on both of these windows. Well, I was walking back from the spur cabin a couple of days ago, and I noticed this pane of glass on the ground. It didn't break, believe it or not. That is the outside pane of glass for this window. And I don't know if you can see, this window is now cracked on the bottom, which is brand new. So hopefully this thing doesn't bust out and this is just open to the elements. So I have to order new windows. Both of them are bad, both of them are faulty. The plastic on the front one started peeling away a couple weeks ago. The question is, am I gonna replace them with those big of windows? Heck no. For a couple of reasons. One is just the pure cost of ordering big windows. The other is, if you're less than, I believe, 18 inches off of the floor, you need tempered glass. That adds to the cost as well. So what I'm probably going to do is frame these up a little bit smaller, a little bit higher off the ground, and save a ton of money. So that's what I'm going to do. So lesson be learned, that's the downside of getting windows at a thrift shop, because when you have to replace them, if they're an odd size, big bucks. Okay, let's get on to the fun project, the big project that's next. I'll show you. Okay, quiz time. What do I have in the two cabins I just built, the Spur cabin and the Ridge cabin, that I don't have on this building? A covered entry. I've been thinking about it for about 18 years. That's how long ago we built this thing. Never got around to it. It's super annoying in the wintertime. Snow comes off the roof, falls onto the deck, right in front of the door, and literally sometimes I have to shovel my way into the garage because there's a big snowbank right there. Yes, I could put gutters on this thing, but then with gutters you have to put those snow blocks to keep the snow from sliding, and I just don't want to do that. I really want an entryway cover so that when I open the door, I'm not instantly in the elements. And then in the summertime, this is practically unusable because it's so hot. This is facing west, primarily west. So we're gonna put a cover on here. We're gonna put a shed roof, maybe 12 feet wide, maybe 10 feet away from the building. Nothing super huge. It's gonna be about a 410 pitch shed roof coming off of this. This is a 12-12 pitch. So that 412 pitch will match the pitch of the barn, of the sides of the barn. So it'll kind of tie everything in together. So that's the next project. We're gonna get rid of this old wood deck. I built this thing as I was building the cabin, just so I could have somewhere to put a lawn chair and look at the view, which you probably know. That's the view. This is rough sawn Doug fir. That's what this deck is made out of. I do have treated runners underneath it, but I put it together real quickly, honestly, in about an hour. No quality control whatsoever. I didn't expect it to be here this long. Didn't expect it to last this long. Didn't think we'd need it this long. So it's falling apart. That's what that one rock is for right there. It's busting up, busting through. So we're gonna get rid of that and we're gonna put a hardscape patio down here instead. I don't know exactly what material, but it's gonna be hardscape, no maintenance, level with the ground. Maybe take one step up in front of the door on a pad or something there, and it'll be undercover. So I'm excited to get going on that. It's about 18 years too late, but better late than never, right? Well, this episode is a roller coaster episode. It's all over the place, but it's over. It's finally over. Thank you for watching Life in the Moose. I appreciate it. Come back next week. We're gonna keep working on that kitchen. We're gonna finish that up one of these days and move on to other projects. Take care. Work hard. We'll see you soon.